I sat alone at the restaurant, staring at the flickering candle between two untouched plates. The waiter had asked twice if I wanted to order while I waited. I kept saying she'd be here soon, but inside, a gnawing truth chewed at me. She wasn't coming. It was our 10th wedding anniversary. 10 years of shared mornings, whispered promises, quiet struggles, and small victories. I'd reserved this restaurant 3 weeks in advance, the same place where I had proposed. Now, the only company I had was a hollow pit in my stomach and the unread message on my phone. Sorry, babe. Boss invited me to a private dinner. Very important for my promotion. I'll make it up to you. I promise. I reread it, hoping I'd misread private dinner on our anniversary. She hadn't called. Just that text, sent half an hour after she was supposed to arrive. I didn't reply. I didn't make a scene. I didn't even touch the wine I'd ordered for us. I paid the bill, left the tip too generous for a meal I hadn't eaten, and walked out into the cold night, the first crack. And I hadn't always been this way. When we met, she was vibrant, driven, but never distant. Her job as a marketing manager was demanding, but we had boundaries. Dinners were sacred, anniversary special. Promises meant something. Lately, though, things had shifted. Her phone was always face down. Makeup heavier for late meetings. Her laughter at home rare. I told myself it was just a season, a cold spell in our marriage. But that night, walking home under dim streetlights with half-wilted roses in hand, I felt the first real crack in the foundation of what we built, the confrontation that never happened. When she came home past midnight, I was awake on the couch, TV murmuring to an empty room. She smelled faintly of expensive wine and something unfamiliar. "Hey," she whispered like she was sneaking into a stranger's house. "You're still up?" "Yeah," I said, eyes fixed on the screen. "How was the dinner?" She hesitated a fraction of a second. Productive. He wanted to discuss some campaign strategies privately. You know how he is. I didn't reply. I didn't ask why her lipstick was gone, but her eyeshadow still perfect. I didn't ask why her phone buzzed in her hand as she passed, thumb darting across the screen faster than her excuses could keep up. I just nodded. "I'm tired. Going to bed." I left her standing there in the soft hallway glow, looking at me like she expected me to yell or interrogate her. I didn't give her that power. The seeds of doubt. The next days blurred with polite smiles and shallow conversation. She acted like nothing happened, sending a link to vacation spots. "Let's plan a getaway soon, just us two." I replied with a thumbs-up emoji, but inside, something was unraveling. I started noticing things I had ignored before. Her boss, Richard, mid-40s, divorced, wealthy, calling at odd hours. Once, while she showered, her phone lit up at 11:47 p.m. I didn't touch it. I just watched until the screen went dark. She began dressing differently for work, sharper, deliberate. The way she smiled at her phone while stirring coffee wasn't a work smile. Still, I had no proof, just a growing ache and a question I couldn't sleep past. When did I stop being enough? The night it broke. 2 weeks later, another private dinner. This time, she didn't tell me until I called at 8 p.m. "Babe, I told you this morning. Richard needs me tonight. Don't wait up." I checked my messages. She hadn't told me. Something inside me snapped. Not loud, not dramatic, just silently, like a thread pulled too tight finally giving way. I said, "All right," and hung up. I didn't pack a bag, didn't slam a door. I put on my jacket, grabbed my keys, and walked out, past photos on the wall, our wedding day, her laughing with cake on her nose, past the couch where we'd spent countless Friday nights, and into a night that suddenly felt colder than it should. I booked a cheap hotel across town, sat on the bed's edge, staring at the ceiling, my phone buzzing with her, just checking in texts that I ignored. I thought about 10 years, the double shifts I worked when she lost her job, the 3-hour drives to surprise her, the anniversary I planned to remind her of us. She had chosen a private dinner with her boss. It wasn't about the dinner, not even about Richard. It was the choice, the reveal. The truth arrived quietly. A friend, Daniel, who worked in the same building, called a week later. He didn't know we were struggling. He didn't mean harm. "Hey, man, Didn't know you were okay with Anna and Richard going out so often. Saw them at that Italian place on 5th again last night. Looked cozy. I didn't ask for details. Didn't need them. That night, I went home. She sat on the couch with a glass of wine, watching something mindless. She looked up, startled. You're home late. I know. I said, voice distant, belonging to someone else. I've been thinking. About what? About us. I met her eyes. About how you chose him. And probably more. Her face went pale. It's not like that. He's my boss. I'm trying to get promoted at the cost of your marriage. I finished for her. She opened her mouth, but nothing came out. Silence. Heavy, suffocating. I'm not going to fight you, Anna, I said finally. I'm not begging for a place in my own marriage. And then I did the unexpected. I stood, grabbed my jacket, and walked out. Divorce isn't clean. It's a slow bleed. She called, cried, insisted it was just dinners and networking, that I was overreacting. When the papers arrived, she didn't contest them. Maybe she knew. Deep down, she'd crossed a line she couldn't uncross. People ask if I regret it, if I should have tried harder, fought for us. The truth? A marriage breaks not when someone cheats, but when one person stops choosing the other, when they pick someone else's table over the one you shared. The ending she never expected. 6 months later, I walked past that same restaurant, the one where I waited alone with 2 plates of food, growing cold. I didn't feel bitter, just lighter. I heard she didn't get the promotion. Richard was transferred. Their private dinners hadn't led to anything permanent. Me? I started over. New apartment, new job, new silence. The peaceful kind. Sometimes the loudest thing you can say is nothing at all. I never yelled, never begged. I just walked away. And that silence said everything.